2,000 years ago, the most powerful man in the world had a problem money couldn't fix and armies couldn't solve. He couldn't sleep. Not because of the weight of his empire, because of the weight of his own mind. So every night, before he closed his eyes, Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, picked up a pen, and he did something almost no ruler in history had the courage to do. He told himself the truth. Tonight, I'm going to give you his method. Not the version they teach in philosophy class. The version he actually used. In the dark, alone, exhausted, with nobody watching. By the 7th night, something in you will already feel different. Stay until the end. The ritual itself comes later, and you'll want to be lying down when you hear it. Here's what most people don't know about Marcus Aurelius. He wasn't writing his private notebook, what we now call meditations, for an audience. He never meant to publish it. It was never meant to be a bestseller or a philosophy syllabus or a quote graphic on social media. It was a man, alone at night, arguing with his own mind so he could survive being himself for one more day. Sound familiar? Because here's the part that hasn't changed in 2,000 years. Your subconscious mind doesn't go offline when the lights go off. It goes to work. Every unresolved argument, every word you didn't say back, every fear you swallowed during the day so you could keep functioning, it doesn't disappear at bedtime. It waits. And in the dark, with nothing to distract it, it plays on a loop. Modern neuroscience has a name for this. It's the period right before sleep, the hypnagogic state, when your brain's critical, analytical filter quiets down. And your subconscious becomes far more receptive to whatever you feed it, not just to anxiety, to anything. Marcus Aurelius didn't have an MRI machine, but he understood this with frightening precision. He knew that whatever thought he allowed to run loose at night would still be standing there, waiting for him, in the morning. Stronger, not weaker. So he stopped letting it run loose. He started closing the day on purpose. The Stoics had a phrase for the discipline Marcus practiced: the view from above. Picture it. Before sleep, he would imagine himself rising, above his bed, above the palace, above Rome itself, until the entire city looked the size of a coin, and his problems looked the size of dust. This wasn't escapism. It was a technique, a deliberate shrinking of the ego's panic, so the real priorities could surface. Here is the mechanism, stripped down to what actually matters for you tonight. 1. Separate what is yours from what isn't. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. Your reputation, the outcome of tomorrow's meeting, what someone else thinks of you, these were never fully yours to control. What was always yours? Your judgment, your response, your next action. Marcus repeated this distinction nightly, because the mind that forgets it spends its sleep guarding things it never owned. 2. Rehearse the response, not the wound. Most people lying awake replay the wound, the insult, the failure, the loss. Marcus trained himself to replay the response instead. Not why did this happen to me, but how did I meet it, and how will I meet it again? 3. Speak to yourself like a commander, not a victim. This is the part almost nobody talks about. Marcus's journal isn't gentle. It isn't soft self-help language. It's blunt, direct. He speaks to himself the way a disciplined general speaks to a soldier who's about to lose his nerve. Not to humiliate him, but because that soldier's life depends on getting back in formation. That tone, firm, calm, undefeated, is exactly what your subconscious responds to at night. Not because it's harsh, but because it's certain. The subconscious doesn't follow suggestions. It follows command, repeated without contradiction. This is the gap between people who say affirmations that never stick and people who reprogram something real, certainty, repeated nightly without negotiating with your own doubt. Here is the ritual, rebuilt from Marcus Aurelius' own private method, translated into something you can use tonight. Do this lying in the dark, eyes closed, lights off. Speak it inwardly. You don't need to whisper it aloud. Begin with the release. Today is finished. What was done is done. What was said is said. I do not owe tonight a single replay. Then, the separation. What belongs to other people's opinions, other people's choices, other people's moods? I release. It was never mine to carry past sunset. Then, the command. This is the center of the ritual, and the part you repeat for all 7 nights. I am not what happened to me today. I am how I meet tomorrow. My mind is mine to direct, and I direct it now toward rest. Then, the view from above. From here, my problems are the size of dust. Tomorrow, they will be the size of tasks. I will meet them as a man who is rested, not as a man who is haunted. And finally, the seal. The line Marcus is said to have returned to again and again. The closing of the gate for the night. I have done what was mine to do. The rest belongs to sleep. That's it. No incense, no apps, no 30-step routine. 5 movements. Release, separate, command, elevate, seal. The reason this works isn't mystical. It's repetition meeting receptivity. You are feeding your subconscious, in the exact window when it's most absorbent, a single, stable, undefeated signal, instead of the scattered panic it usually inherits by default. Do it for 7 nights. Not because 7 is a magic number, but because that's how long it takes a new sentence to start outcompeting the old ones already running in your head on autopilot. Picture someone, we'll call him a man in his 40s. The kind of person everyone assumes is fine because he shows up, does the job, says the right things. Inside, his nights have looked the same for years, replaying a conversation from work, rehearsing arguments he never has, waking up already tired. Night 1, the ritual feels foreign, almost embarrassing. He says the words anyway because he's run out of other options. Night 3, something shifts, not dramatically, just a small thing. He notices he fell asleep before finishing the loop he usually runs. The sentence got there first. Night 7, he wakes up and realizes, almost as an afterthought, that he didn't lie there rehearsing anything the night before. His mind went quiet on its own terms, not because he forced it, but because for 7 nights straight, he'd been handing it something steadier to hold on to than the noise. This isn't a cure for hardship. The Stoics never promised that, and neither will I. Marcus Aurelius still buried people he loved. He still ruled through plague and war. The ritual didn't remove his problems. It removed the second problem. The one we create ourselves, lying awake, fighting battles that already ended hours ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote his private words almost 2,000 years ago, never intending for a single stranger to read them. And yet here you are, about to use them tonight, in a language he never spoke, in a century he couldn't have imagined. That's the strange gift of discipline. It outlives everything else. Tonight, when you lie down, try the 5 movements. Release, separate, command, elevate, seal. If you felt even one sentence of this land somewhere real, type the word seal in the comments. I read every one, and I want to know which night brought the shift. And if your mind has been running the same loop for longer than 7 nights, stay close. There's a part 2 coming on what the Stoics did when the loop wouldn't break at all. Until then, close the day on purpose.